Nitro Family. You know who it is, KJ, TTR Racing, EKJ 24000. Just gonna do a little quick video of how to seal your nitro engine. This, let me say this from the beginning, this is not something that you have to do. It's not a must, because when we buy our nitro engines, we spend good money for them, so they come already from the factory sealed up good. It just with this one of my older Reds engine, team editions, I had a front bearing leak, and so I replaced the bearing. And just after that, I'm just taking this, just a safety precaution. This just doing something that's extra, that's going to reinsurance that you won't have any leaks. And like I said, this motor is still really good, a lot of compression on it. It is modified by Mernin mods, so I particularly just run this more in my truggy than anything. So just since I had this bearing leak, front bearing leak on it, I'm just gonna like I said, just to have extra insurance that it's gonna run good, run reliable like I need it to. Like I said, mostly when I go to big races, I usually run this one because it's got a little bit more a little bit more oomph to it, you know, since it's been a little modified, been done to it. Got a little extra run time mod on it, and a little bit more extra power to, you know, to pull the truck real good. So yeah, I just want to have some extra insurance. Since I had the bearing leak, I'm just gonna go ahead on and just seal up everything, make sure I won't have that problem again. So it's just a video to show you how I seal my engines. And like I said from the beginning, we pay good money for engines, so they come from the factory ready to go, no problem. Every once in a while you may find one that may have a little leak, and if you do, then this is just use this, and it's just to show how you can seal your engine up just to make sure that it won't have a leak again. So like I said, I'm just doing this as a precaution and just some extra insurance that'll run good. And since I had that front bearing leak, so but that's it. So we're gonna start off just removing the back plate. So like I said, these engines are good, straight from the factory. You know, they just from time to time you may get one with the mold, with the block not completely sealed like it's supposed to be, and you know, coming out the mold from the factory or whatever. So the only reason I know that this was doing it because it was idling okay, but it just far as when I tune it the way I really want it, far with the low end, the low end just would be real erratic. Like I know it's not too lean, but it sound like it's lean. So it was just being really erratic. So I decided to go ahead on and test it for a leak, and I found the front bearing leak. I already replaced the bearing. It's a new bearing. So I'm just gonna seal it up, y'all, and maybe y'all can use this, and just, you know, if y'all have an issue like that. Like I said, Roger 111 did a video on how to check to see if you have an air leak. Only thing you do is cap off your carburetor, and cap off your back plate, and get a piece of fuel line and put over your hot end, your fuel inlet nipple, and just put some soapy water around the front bearing and just blow inside the fuel line. When you blow inside the fuel line, pull your carburetor on your slide car, pull it out. It's gonna allow the air to circulate up through in the engine. So with the soapy water on it, when you blow in it, if it bubbles up, then yeah, you have an air leak. So that's how you test to see if you have one in your front bearing. You put your fuel line on the nipple, you kept off the carb and the exhaust port, kept that off. And once you blow into the fuel line. When you're blowing into the fuel line, open up the carburetor. Open up the carburetor like that. And once you blow in it, put soap or water around the bearing. Real soap or water, real soapy, a lot of suds. So when the air come up through the bearing, you can see it come up through the suds. You can see where your air leak is. So that's how you check for an air leak. Blow in your hole and blow in the fuel line. Open the carburetor up, and it should bubble up if you have one. So that's how you check. So okay. So I removed the back plate. Now I went to AutoZone and got some of this Permatex gasket maker, high temp, Ultimum Black gasket maker, and it goes up to, it stays sealed up to 500 Fahrenheit temperature. So that's plenty enough protection for us to seal itself, that it won't break down when your engine get hot. So so 300 degrees hot to us, but this goes up to 500 degrees temp wise. So AutoZone, Kmart, any auto parts store, you can find this. So yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a bead right here on the back plate, like right here where the screws go in. I'm gonna put a bead around there. Just like that. All the way around. Do it all the way around evenly. Just like that. To be evenly all the way around. I know it's black on black, so it might be a little hard to see, but just put a little even bead all the way around on the back plate, on the part where you the screws go back up against the back of the engine of the back plate. So that's it. And if you get an X-Acto, you just can spread it out, just smooth around it. Just spread it out smooth around. Just like that. Evenly. Don't be afraid to get your hands a little dirty. It happens. We gearheads. We get our hands dirty, so it's okay. I'll put a little more right here though. So yeah, so that's it. Just put a bead all the way around evenly. If you want to use your X-Acto to smooth it out, you can do that. So, and they have this gasket maker. You can get it in black, gray, blue. But since most of my engine blocks are black, so I got it in black. So you really can't tell when if it gets around the sides or up on the block of the motor. So keep that in mind too, because it come in blue, black, silver, gray. Also has some that come like in a copper tone, and also has some come in red. So it's whatever you prefer. So okay, got that on there, even all the way around. So now I'm just gonna put it back on the back of the engine, just like that. Make sure your piston and sleeve is at top dead center when you removing the back plate. Make sure your pistons are up at the top. Okay. So got that on now. So I'm just gonna get my screws. Kind of back plate back down. One screw in. Do it in a cross pattern, like we all know. Make sure you just screw it in. Make sure it's in evenly. And then as we get all four in, then we're gonna tighten it on down. So yeah, y'all, like I said, this is just something extra protection for me. Since I had that leak in the front on the front bearing, so I decided to go ahead on and seal the whole engine back up. Just seal it up. So they just keep trying to prevent stuff from happening in the future, you know what I'm saying? So just torque them down now since you got it back on. And any excess sealant, you just wipe it off. Just wipe it off. So when you do this, let this sit up 24 hours. Don't just put the sealant on and think you're gonna run it back in your truck or in your buggy. Let it sit and seal. Give it time, 24 hours, all night, all day. So now we're gonna move to the carburetor. Take the bolt out, carburetor bolt, pin out right here. Right here. Take the carburetor screw out. That holds the carburetor in tight. Put that right there. We'll remove the carburetor. Okay, everything looks good down in there. Everything's already clean. So now, like I said, it's already got a little washer gasket right here. Actually, that belongs up top, right up under the neck of the carburetor. But we're gonna pull it down. We're gonna put the gasket maker right here, and then we're gonna slide that back up to it. Just make a, it's gonna double. It's gonna double up. So right there. Put some right here. All the way around. Okay, that's it. Get our X-Acto knife. I'm gonna push the original gasket back down where it's supposed to be, like that. Just like that. So now just keep in mind, we're gonna put this in like how we run it in there. Just put it on in. Just go and put it in, but make sure you got everything on the right side as far as your how your linkage is. Yeah. So just put it on in. Push it down in even. Just like that. Okay. Now, this is important. Since we got it, since we had to take the carburetor off. Now you're gonna take your buggy or truck. Take your buggy or truck. Put your engine in. Just take one of your bolts. Only thing I'm doing is just making sure we got this sealant on, and we're gonna make sure that the carburetor is in the right position for our linkage. That's all. So we're gonna take one screw. I'm gonna take one screw, screw the engine down. Just make sure, we're just gonna make sure it's in the right position. So you don't need to screw the whole thing down. Just put one screw in. Tighten it down. Okay, we did that. So the engine's in. So just gonna make sure that just gonna make sure the carburetor is in the right position. I know it, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. Just trying to make sure the carburetor is in the right position with the linkage. So that's it. So yeah, just make sure this is in the right. Make sure my throttle arm is straight. All my links is straight, how it's supposed to be. Because when this thing seals up, you ain't gonna be able to move it until you break the seal of the sealant. So just trying to make sure everything's right before we tighten down the carburetor screw. So everything's in the right position. My throttle linkage arm is straight. So that's straight. That's good right there. So Okay, that's straight. Take it back out. It's okay. Okay. Like I said, that is straight. Everything where it's supposed to be. Everything's where it's supposed to be. Okay, so now we remove the engine. Take the engine back out. Okay. Move this back out the way. All right, got the engine back out. Now you can get ready to put your carburetor screw back in. Tighten it down. Snug it up. You ain't gotta put the Gorilla Death grip on it. Just snug it up. If you do it too tight, you can actually crush the bottom of your the carburetor. Especially if your carburetor is plastic. You can actually crush it. That's what kind of screw that is. They call it a crush screw. It squeezes. It squeezes that those two other sides of the screw that it screws into. It makes it tight on the carburetor. So yeah, if you have any excess spewing out from the bottom of the carburetor, just wipe it off. Take your towel, shop towels, just wipe it down, clean up. Now, okay, now I'm gonna seal the screw itself, because air can get from behind there too. Just put a little even dab right there. Use your X-Acto. Just use X-Acto and just spread it evenly. You want no leaks, no potential. So we're gonna seal that too. Make sure that's covered up. Just like that. Got that seal. Got the back plate seal. Got the carburetor seal. So we good to go, y'all. Just a little tip. Extra insurance. This way you'll know that your engine is sealed and ready to go. You should have no issues with random, off the wall engine running on. You know everything is tuned right. You know your clutch is right. Everything's right, and it's still not acting. This will eliminate all that. So, but yeah, y'all. Like I said, this Cord Joe TTR Racing EJ 24000. Just want to come to y'all and show y'all how I seal my engines when I find that it has a leak. and just to keep it running good, and just to give it long life, long longevity, and also just some added insurance that everything is sealed and good and is good to go. So y'all can do this. Extra insurance, you know everything's gonna be good, everything's sealed. You should get a good tune, strong running engine, no air leaks or nothing like that. Now if you have another air leak, this will ensure you that it's not the engine, it may be your fuel line or your tank. So it's just eliminating issues. So core joint TTR racer, if you ain't tripping, if you ain't ripping, you're tripping. If you ain't ripping, you're tripping. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Hey, peace. Red's racing, baby. Let's go.